As of 2014, Stufflebeam and Corin identified over 20 recognized approaches to program evaluation. Today, I will walk you through two of those approaches, theory-based evaluation, which I'll call TBE, and decision and accountability-oriented studies, referred to as DAO. TBE was born through the works of Glasser, Strauss, and Weiss. The basics of this approach state that evaluators should make use of existing theory to guide the evaluation process or develop theory through the evaluation procedure. DAO stems from the work of evaluators such as Cronbach, Scriven, and Stufflebeam. This approach puts great stock in stakeholder involvement and feels that evaluation should be used to improve and value the program. It's important to consider individual program needs, so we'll be considering the fictional case study of Rupus from Evaluation Essentials by Marvin Alkin. After reviewing some of the components of each approach, we will decide which is the most appropriate for this situation. Our first components are advanced organizers and purpose. TBE uses theory or theories chosen to identify advanced organizers that will guide the evaluation in collecting data and analyzing it. Therefore, there are no set advanced organizers that are universal. The purpose is then to make sure the program is theoretically sound and is provided direction from the theory. DAO considers a variety of options, including decision makers and stakeholders, the actual decisions to be made, accountability requirements, and value criteria. More than anything, this approach's purpose is that of improvement. Next, we're going to look at the questions, both sources and examples. TBE questions are guided by their theory. An example might be, are program inputs and operations producing outcomes in the way the theory predicts? DAO, however, asks stakeholders and evaluators both to be the sources of questions. Questions are then developed around either formative or summative standards. An example of a formative question might be, is the program meeting the participants' needs? And an example of a summative question, again, might be, did the program prove to be affordable? Next, we're going to look at the methodologies for each. TBE primarily makes use of the logic model, oftentimes through flowchart methods. DAO, on the other hand, uses a variety of different types as long as the stakeholders are involved. Next, the way these are used and considered used. The TBE approach does not actually seem to be used as it was intended. Corin and Noakes et al. 2001 shared that practitioners who claim to use TBE typically employ less than half of the principles. DAO, on the other hand, is an approach that's been found valuable with decisions of all levels and a variety of types of programs as long as the stakeholders are involved. Now, as far as strengths and areas of improvement go, there are a couple things to consider. If TBE has a validated theory, there would be of benefit to using it as a guide for structure and/or analysis of findings. However, according to a 1999 article by Cole, a number of things can go wrong if the theory chosen is not fully validated and tested. DAO is a wonderful choice for many options. In addition to accountability, constant systematic and malleable evaluation is one of the primary strengths of this approach. According to a 2001 article by Stufflebeam, quote, the main advantages of accountability studies are that they are popular amongst constituent groups and politicians and are aimed at improving public services, end quote. However, the highly collaborative nature of this approach can cause delays and potentially be impacted by biased perspectives. So what should we do with the Rupus case? Using TBE would require that the evaluator or evaluators find the exact right theory that has been well established and validated in order to model the process. True success with TBE seems to be a very rare experience and would not be malleable to the Rupus situation. With the varying nature of the needs of the program and the variety of stakeholders involved, it would seem that approaching the evaluation with accountability and involvement would be ideal. In addition, the approach can make use of various methods that fit the needs of Rupus. The only negative to this is that as program funding is a major reason for evaluation, a more summative note might take precedence. So while summative in and of itself is not an issue, it seems that what Rupes really needs is formative in order to make the decisions and potential changes that need to be made. So hopefully that gave you a good idea of these two approaches to evaluation and how they might be applied to Rupes.